Okay, back at Bachelors Grove for an experiment in high definition. Pretty much the same old, but this time it looks like the Forest Preserve District has trimmed back a lot more stuff over here. You can see the haunted lagoon. Alright, heading towards the corner. This is the corner where the graves had been dug up. And I first started coming here, a little over 15 years ago. It was really in terrible repair. And back in this corner, somebody had actually tried to dig up the graves, and there was a pit about 4 feet deep. As I've stated for the record, I tend to be a cynic on these things, but if there's ever been a number of anomalies with my cameras, either stills or video, they've been pretty much right over here and one other spot. Right here is, or still, the most mysterious thing I ever saw was in here 10 o'clock at night. There was probably 15 people in here. One guy had his 2 dogs, and the 2 dogs were right over here, one on each side of this garden patch, and they were both pointed towards the air, their noses in the air, looking up at something that seemed to be about 10-15 feet off the ground, something that was invisible. I couldn't see anything, but they were both snapping and barking at it. Weird. Okay, the Fulton Monument. One of my regular members of my crew says that there used to be 6 regular little tombstones out here. Now there's only a few. The trees here fascinate me. Another one of those little weird incidences was I was facing forward and something came hurtling down out of a tree behind me and hit the ground behind me, but I never did see it or figure out what it was. Here's the back side of the Fulton Monument, and you can see there's only one stone back here. I don't have any reference materials with me to check against all the other pictures, but yeah, it looks like there are a couple missing stones here. Alright, there are a large amount of walnuts here, but something just hurtled down from the sky here and landed about 8 feet behind us. Okay, this is the mysterious haunted lagoon. Probably more mysterious for the amount of garbage that this thing is accepting every year. It's probably only about 6 inches deep now. Probably walk across it with all the garbage on top. But the haunted story is something where some farmer, whatever, tried to cross this or was near this with his wagon and horses, and the horses got spooked, and they all went into the water, and this guy died. And so they say that his spirit haunts the area, and at nights you can see him and the horse and the wagon. Cemetery's quieted down a little bit now. There's been a lot of people coming and going since we got here. It's just myself and my faithful crew, as I call them. One family was here, and then a bunch of high school looking kids have been coming and going from here. I would say there's been between 16 and 20 people coming and going since we got here in this last half hour or so. You know, there's a lot of discarded beer bottles and stuff in here. And I have been in here enough times to know that there's a lot of narcotics usage. And oddly enough, tonight, when all these young folks have been coming into the cemetery, they seem to be coming in from the gate right over here to the right. They come in that way, and then they disappear down towards the haunted lagoon and the back end of the cemetery, and I'll just quickly pan over that way. And there seems to be some sort of gathering going on. There's a little creek just out of sight there, 30, 40, 50 feet past the fence, and a lot of them seem to be heading in that direction. Okay, we're coming a full 360 here. I'm running autofocus on this camera, so you might hear a little bit of chipping noise as the camera focuses in and out. And then also, as there's trees close to me and stuff in the distance that's wide open, there could be some anomalies caused by the lens. I'm taking my time between each segment here, and it's getting on towards sunset, and I want to get out of here before it gets dark. Not because of any ghosties, but because I've already encountered the Cook County Forest Preserve Police on one occasion, and they didn't make it too pleasant for me. You know, they weren't like real jerks or anything, but you know, they definitely made it clear that they didn't appreciate me being in here. That's weird. The autofocus can't make up its mind what it wants to focus on here. Let's try that. There was a little stick right in front of me to the right there. You can probably see it. I think it was sensing that. There goes the lens again. It's got to be that weed. Another angle on that area that's kind of mysterious for me. On the still photographs, I get a lot of stuff with the trees, bushes, grass, fence. And I like to shoot two pictures, you know, like a quarter second apart from each other, then I compare the two. So if I have an anomaly, I can examine the one photo against the other to see what the anomaly is. 99% of the time it's something to do with a leaf has just caught the angle of the sun in a weird way or something like that. I believe this is where the mysterious ghost photograph was taken. The one that's got some notoriety about it. It shows a woman, 1920s bobbed hair, 1920s sort of clothing, sitting right over here. That photograph alone probably gave this cemetery a lot of notoriety. Here's another angle of the previous shot. It's kind of neat the way this one moves out into the background. Focus is going a little crazy. The thing I don't like about the cemetery is you get some really weird people that come in here, and I don't know what that's a photo of, you know, it just looks kind of bizarre. Obviously they're burning candles and stuff in here. Probably using a lot of narcotics. As it gets darker, more shadows. The lens seems to chatter a lot more. I'm fairly confident that it's from stuff in the foreground. It's trying to pick up the leaves. Also might have something to do with the darkness, the shadows, and the contrast. But what's really crazy right now is from where I'm standing, this kind of a weird optical illusion with the fences. I always thought this place was more or less a perfect rectangle, and down at this end it seems like the fences are a lot closer together. Kind of a discomforting sort of thing. My one-person crew wasn't next to me for that segment where I was talking about how the fences kind of were weird, and right after I said that, he came right back over to me and he's like, it's kind of creepy back in this little space around here, you know, it has this weird feeling, you know, it's like a dizziness or a vertigo. I'm going to swing the camera around. And there's a gully back there, right in the gully area, right about here. My crew and I did a quick comparison of feelings here, and you know, again, I'm usually the cynic guy, but there's something about this corner right here that's discomforting. I think it's a combination of bad eyeglasses and a forest floor that slopes away like down to the gully there. But oddly enough, when we walked around, we both walked around here, and as we stayed around this particular grave, we felt this like disorientation. My crew called it a weird vortex. But as we get away from the grave, we feel better. But as we're near it, there's that discomforting feeling. And he wants to get out of here, so I'm not going to stay here too much longer. Okay, the focus is going a little weird here. Hey, see it right there? I think it's the software in the camera. It can really differentiate between the tombstone and the grass beyond it. I don't know if I caught the last segment or not. When I was shooting that whole thing about the circle around that particular grave, I wanted to continue for another few seconds, and all of a sudden my camera, which is a brand new camera, comes up and says, "Camera overheating, allow to cool," and it shut itself off. Yeah, this little corner here it's getting a lot of, I don't know, anecdotal sort of dopey sort of non-facts, but I think I'll just avoid that corner for a little while. Alright, one more pan and then I'm done for the most part. This one, this time, you're going to see some of the people that are in here. Over there, nobody's swimming in the lagoon. Some broad's been over there for a while taking flash photos.